Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I have an opportunity to bring you a very important car. This is the Aston Martin Valhalla, a car that I got to see for the first time when I was over at the bridge earlier, well, midway through last month. And seeing this in person for the first time was incredible, especially with its dihedral doors. It's one of the most important cars that's come out in the last 2 years. I think it will make its mark as soon as production gets underway. So let's go around this car and look at some of the very special details in which pretty much sets this car apart from anything else that's available right now. So let's go around this car and look at some of the very cool stuff that this Aston Martin Valhalla has to offer. I think one of the greatest details is the integration of carbon fiber into the body lines of this vehicle. We see that this thing is just designed to cut air as aerodynamically efficient as possible. If we just go across, it's utilizing carbon fiber weave, carbon fiber composites, just so many different elements to help develop just one comprehensive, well-developed vehicle. Just really cool stuff. Let me see if I can fit in this car. All right, so with the dihedral doors open, the first step is I need to get in, sit on the sill. I scoot my way over. And this is a fixed pedal assembly. And I actually do fit. The knees are a little bit high, but I actually have perfect access to the pedals. Wow, this is really cool. I actually have just enough head clearance. Because I don't have to do any stick shifting, I have perfect access to the pedals. And if I actually close the door, yeah, I want to see if it'll actually close and clear my knees. And it actually helps. Yep, it clears my knees. This is incredible. Thank you, Edward. I actually fit in this car. That's incredible. And to get out, hopefully it's not an embarrassing situation, but I scoot over. I could sit on the sill, and then I just do a squat. There I go. Thank God I go to the gym. Yeah, can you tell me more about the interior design? And this is Edward, by the way. He's our representative from Aston Martin, and he is representing this car, and he was giving me some of the background details in order to better understand some of the decisions that were made in terms of some of the design execution as well as the engineering execution for this car.
Sure. So the interior on the car, it's slightly more conceptual than the exterior. The exterior we're saying is 95% there. The interior of the car, there will be certain things that will change. Mainly it's going to be a sliding seat. Yeah. So it's going to fit more shapes and sizes of people, give you more room, but it's still going to be your hips below your feet in the car. So that's your F1 style seating position. Some of the details in there are slightly conceptual, that there will be room for change on the interior. Some of these things might not make it into production, some will, but the overall design, shape, theme of the car, that is the future of Aston Martin, and that's going to show you what's coming. There will be a screen that comes out and folds up, so you'll have your 360-degree cameras, help you parking. You will have touchscreen technology on there, a digital rear view camera, because there is no rear view on the car. And then a little hidden gem here is there will be inside here your pockets for your helmets behind the driver's seat there as well. So just little touches on the car that you'll see. Even down here, the air vents on the side here, they mimic the air vents on the actual outside of the car here. So that catches these same ones through here. Other than that, we are showing 2 examples of steering wheels today. This would be a sort of touring wheel, but then I'll show you we have a racing wheel. This would likely be fitted after. You'd have to sort of see how we get around airbags and things like that, but that would be more of a racing style wheel because this car is, you know, aimed as a lap record breaking car as well, so it is going to be a focus car for the track.
So is it fair to say that this is going to be a preview of the design language that is to come for Aston Martin for the next 10 years?
Yes, I think that's a fair assumption. Yeah, okay. I think it's a wise words to use because, you know, we are into a new generation of Aston Martin with this, the mid-engine cars. This will trickle down into a next series car, which will be a non-limited version of a mid-engine car, and you'll see some of these influences coming through on that too.
Absolutely. Edward, thank you for those wise words. I mean, this is definitely an amazing vehicle that I am definitely blown away by, because the first time I saw it, I had an impression, and now that I'm seeing it for the second time, now that I'm seeing it more in depth, I'm seeing a lot of details that I was not able to get the first time around. And one detail that I did not pick up on was the fact that there's not a windscreen wiper. So this is a prototype, and this is a static model, so when we get the production version, it's going to have little things like a backup camera. It's going to have wipers. It's going to have a functional engine, because this is a rolling display that was also at Pebble Beach. This was also at the bridge. It's at the premier events all across the country, and its next stop is going to be Florida. Wow. Just seeing the presence of the dihedral doors open. This is very McLaren F1, but this is a lot newer. This is the latest in hybrid technology. This is amazing. That is just one sight to behold. Unbelievable. So I'm going to continue walking around the car and identifying some of the key elements which definitely strike me as beautiful for the most part, and we will continue from there. All right, so let's start from the top and let's work our way down. So if we start at the top, we have this structure right here, right in the middle, right at the center point of the car, and that is going to be an induction point, which is going to bring air into the motor, an 812 horsepower motor, and of course it's aligned with a 200 horsepower electric motor. And this is going to be the central exhaust coming from the roof. And it's going to hit that wing, and you're going to have all this air moving towards the back of the vehicle, and it's going to help with the downforce. And speaking of downforce, let's work our way down. We have the ground effects, because it avoids having to integrate high wings that you would see in other models. You don't have anything obstructing the design. But now that we have this door open, let's go to the interior. I think the detail that gets me the most excited about this car has to be the carbon fiber seat, the Alcantara padding around the skeleton of the seat. And this is like a fixed seat setting. And if you were watching earlier, I do fit in this car. That's a very exciting thing that I'm definitely excited about, because that means I could actually drive this thing. And every detail is perfect. Something James Bond would drive. A screen is going to be integrated into that center location where it's going to flip out, apparently. We'll see what happens in the coming future. Very beautiful details, beautiful stitching. This acid green detail. No detail is left untouched. If we look at that steering column finished in carbon fiber, we have a minimal screen application, because you want things to time perfectly over time. You want things to look very nice in time, and screens definitely have a short shelf life in terms of looking great after a long period of time. So if you keep the screens to a minimum, I think everyone is following the trend with Bugatti and the Veyron and the Chiron. By keeping screens to a minimum, you're able to time things and keep things timeless. And I think that's what I really like about this car. So seeing this car a second time is definitely very exciting. I'm very excited for this car to come out. There's a few allocations left, so get to your local Aston Martin dealer and get yourself a Valhalla. To me, this is like the latest development of what hybrid technology means. 812 horsepower motor mated perfectly to an electric power plant that makes 200 horsepower for a total of 1,012 horsepower. So it's a perfect hybrid mix that has been fully developed, because the last time we saw the Holy Trinity come out with cars, meaning the 918 Spider, the Ferrari LaFerrari, and the third member of that Holy Trinity was the McLaren P1. The McLaren P1 is probably the one that's most closely associated with this car because of its British heritage. Well, this car, I think, takes it to the next level, and Aston Martin, they knocked it out of the park on this one. I think they did pretty good. But the last time we were able to see this level of technology has been almost a decade at this point. The Aston Martin Valhalla is the latest and greatest to join that Holy Trinity. So we're now forming a quartet. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.